Welcome to the TCHub's Premier League predictions, match week number 15. I'm Russ Vernon, the host of these wonderful Premier League predictions that we do each mid-week. Before we get on and invite our guest on this week, which is sat backstage waiting for me to come across to them, just had a quick drink of his water there, I can see. We'll have a look at how myself got on against Dale in the midweek fixtures, which were played over Tuesday, Wednesday and last night. Let's have a look at the scores there. So I got 4 points, with a point for Leeds United winning at Crystal Palace, Chelsea winning at Watford, West Ham and Brighton being a draw, and Liverpool winning away at Everton. Dale got a whopping 10 points. He got a point for Leeds beating Crystal Palace. He got 3 for getting a draw between Southampton and Leicester, with the score being 2 apiece. He got a point for Chelsea winning at Watford. He got 3 for Man City winning 2-1 at Aston Villa. He also got a point for Tottenham beating Brentford and Manchester United beating Arsenal as well. So, it's time for me to welcome on our guest, or my guest this week, for the Premier League predictions, and say a very warm welcome to none other than our friend, Mike Harniman. Mike, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you, Ross. Hopefully you are as well.
Yes, all good, mate, thank you. Let's have a look at the fixtures that we've got coming up then, Mike, this weekend. We've both got them up on our screens, ready and rocking to go with our predictions. Normally, Mike, I normally have put my predictions in already for each of these matches, but as we go through them, and while you give yours first, I will put mine in.
Put yours at the same time. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
At the same time. So the first up game, Mike, is the game between West Ham United and Chelsea on Saturday lunchtime at the London Stadium. West Ham getting a point against Brighton in midweek. Chelsea getting a win at Watford. Mike, it's a derby game. Form normally goes out to window in derbies. How do you see this game going?
Yeah, and I think West Ham need the form to go out of the window the last few as well. They've obviously haven't won in the last 3. They obviously lost the last 2 before picking up the draw against Brighton in midweek, and that was a good result for them, obviously. Chelsea were my favourites and still are my favourites to go on and lift the title this season under Thomas Tuchel, and I think they will go on and do that, and they've only lost the 1 game this season as well. So for me, I think it's going to be, as you say, a really interesting game. Those derby games always are. Form, does tend to go out of the window. There's goals in there. I do think West Ham will score. I'm going to go West Ham 1, Chelsea 2.
I'm going, Mike, for this one. West Ham 1, Chelsea 3. I think Chelsea will win it. West Ham will open, like I said, form goes out to the window, and hopefully it does in their case. But I still think Chelsea will win, and I think they'll win by 3-1. Next game, Mike, is a game which involves a friend of ours, JB's beloved Burnley. They're taking on a Newcastle side who are yet to win this season and perform well under Eddie Howe when he's been in the dugout against Arsenal, although they lost that one, but against Norwich in midweek. Mike, how do you see this game going at St James's Park? Newcastle against Burnley on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a really interesting game. Of course, the battle of 2 sides that are really struggling. Of course, Eddie Howe coming into Newcastle now, former Burnley boss, remember, as well, from 2011 to 2012. So he knows all too well about Burnley. JB probably hasn't liked me for many weeks because I've tend to go against Burnley in a lot of my predictions recently. But I actually think Burnley can get the job done in this one. I think the likes of Maxwell Cornet can certainly have an impact. And I do think Newcastle's struggles will continue. I'm going to go a narrow Burnley win by a 1-0.
And JB normally doesn't like me as well in recent weeks. And in midweek, if we just look back, Mike, on what was said in midweek for Burnley on the screen here, I went for Burnley to get beat by Wolves. They wouldn't have been happy with me on that one. But if you're listening, JB, or watching this back, you'll be happy with me as well. I'm going for a 2-0 Burnley victory in this one. I think Burnley will just have enough. I think Nuxo's winless run will continue. But one of these games, Burnley's winless. Burnley, one of these weeks, should I say, Newcastle will get their winning start to the season off and running. But I do not think it'll be this weekend against Burnley. And I think Maxwell Cornet will probably get a brace.
Yeah, okay, that's what I said. I think Maxwell Cornet will probably be the difference maker as well. And I think he'll grab the goal for Burnley, which will be the difference. So I'll stick up with that 1-0. Yeah.
Yes. Next up, then, Mike, is a battle of two South Coast teams. Brighton going fairly well, Southampton not so well, and Brighton with that point down at the London Stadium on Wednesday evening. Mike, how do you see this game going at St Mary's this weekend?
So of course that's another derby as well, Southampton and Brighton. As you say, Brighton going really, really well this season. Currently picked up 19 points already. Southampton, struggling towards the wrong end of the table, just a couple of places outside the relegation zone. But form does go out of the window in these derby games, as we rightly mentioned beforehand. And I'm going to go. I think there's probably going to be a draw this one. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going for Brighton to edge this one. I'm going for a 2-1 Brighton victory. Next up, Mike, is another game which we've got a friend who supports either side in this one. We've got Kieran Riley, a friend of the TCHub, supporting Wolves, and we've got two friends who we know support Liverpool. We've got as friend Stacey Devine, who's a Liverpool fan, and also someone who we used to be on a podcast with, Liam Angel, the straight shooting LJA, who supports Liverpool as well, Mike. And Liverpool doing fairly well recently and doing fairly well this season in general. And how do you see this game going, Mike? Because for me, I can see none other than a Liverpool win here. I'm going 4-0 Liverpool.
That's quite an interesting and bold prediction, because obviously Wolves have started to pick up in recent weeks. They obviously drew last time out against Burnley. They drew the time before that, and then obviously they picked up a win before that as well. So they've only lost one of their last five, actually, in fact, Wolves. So they're, a side that are in not too bad form. Liverpool have won their last three, and, it's certainly going to be up there or there or thereabouts, challenging for honours this season in terms of a title. So, Diego Jota going back to Wolves as well. I think it was last year, or maybe the year before, that he ended up scoring the winner as well at Wolves for Liverpool, and I think he'll go back and have an impact as well. Mo Salah has been exceptional this season, so you have to look at it and you have to say Liverpool for me will get the win. I'm going to go 3-1 to the red side of Merseyside.
So Mike's going for a 3-1 win then. Next up then, Mike, is a game where Watford, who will be looking to bounce back from a defeat to Chelsea on Wednesday evening, when they take on the Manchester City side, who inflicted a first defeat on Steven Gerrard in charge of Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Who I think what Man City will come out on top in this one, Mike. I'm going for a 3-1 Man City win here at the Vicarage Road against the Hornets. Mike, Watford, Man City. Score prediction from you, my friend.
I like this Manchester City side. There's plenty of really good players in there. Obviously, Jack Grealish, obviously Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez as well. But Watford on their day have caused a few issues. Obviously, they beat Manchester United 4-1 fairly recently. They obviously beat Everton 5-2 as well, with that scintillating end to that game, where obviously Josh King grabbed a hat-trick. So Watford have those results in them. But, for me, it's going to be a comfortable victory for Man City. I'm going to go 3-0 to Man City.
So there we go. Next up, Mike, it's Leeds United against Brentford. And as you know, Mike, from previous weeks, and anyway,
Hold the fort. Are you going to back Leeds to not win for once?
No, Mike. I always back my team to win whichever game we play, whether we play Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, whoever we play against, they always back Leeds to win. And I'm going
Mm-hmm.
for another Leeds win here, and I'm going for a comfortable win, and I'm going for a win where we don't concede a goal like we did in midweek. I'm going for a 2-0 Leeds win like I did in midweek. We won 1-0. I'm trying to make it say we're going to win 2-0 and see if we get the 2-0 win this week, because in midweek against Crystal Palace, it could have been more than the one goal. Leeds deserved that win in midweek, and I think Leeds could have won it by more. I think Leeds will win this one as well. I think it'll be 2-0, and then it's already been forgotten about by some fans. But I think if we get another victory in this one against Brentford, that draw against Brighton and that performance against Brighton will be demolished away from our heads, and we'll focus on these two going into a run of 4 difficult games. Because after the Brentford game, Mike, before you have yourself on this game, we've got Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, and then Liverpool in our next 4, taking us to Boxing Day Leeds. So this is going to be a tough period coming up after this Brentford game. Get a win in there, and I'm going to put this out there now. In that 4 game there, even
Yeah.
though the teams are playing quite well, when you look at some of the teams, say Chelsea, Arsenal, maybe Man City at times as well, they can be got at
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
there. So out of those 4 games, I don't see Leeds losing all 4. I see
Mm-hmm.
us picking up some points in that. Not sure which games we will pick some points up in that, but I don't see us losing all 4 after this Brentford game. But I'm going for a 2-0 win over Brentford. Mike, Leeds Brentford.
There's not an awful lot really in it between the two sides for me. I think if you look at the last 5, Brentford have lost 3 of their last 5. Leeds have lost, I believe, 2 of their last 5. In fact, 1 of their last 5, I should say, just to correct myself there. But there's only the 1 point in it between the two sides as well. So there's not loads in it. Of course, Leeds won their last game. Brentford obviously lost to Tottenham in midweek as well. So I think Leeds will go on and they'll narrowly win this one. I'm going to go 1-0 to Leeds.
1-0 to Leeds from Mike Harniman. Next up then, Mike, is Manchester United against Crystal Palace and under new boss Ralph Rangnick. And on Thursday, Michael Carrick stepped down after the win over Arsenal, should I say. He
Yeah.
stepped down after that and left Manchester United after 15 years service to the club. Ralph Rangnick come in, a lot of big name around him, big job what he's done at Leipzig when he was in charge there, and what he's done in German football, and whether he can handle this pressure. It'll be interesting to see. His first task is against the Crystal Palace side, coming into this on the back of a defeat to Leeds United. Mike, Man United Crystal Palace, how do you see this one? 'Cause for me, I can only see a Manchester United victory, and as a Leeds fan, it pains me to say that. I can only see a Manchester United victory, and I'm going for a 3-0 win for Manchester United in
Yeah.
Ralph Rangnick's first game in charge.
I'm going to go Man United to get a win here as well. Obviously, they were very, very good against Arsenal last time out, especially in that second half with Cristiano Ronaldo grabbing himself a couple of goals. Crystal Palace, of course, beaten very late on against Leeds as well. So that'll be something that might be in the back of their minds. Of course, going to Man United, who are going to be buzzing on the back of the new appointment as well. For me, it's going to be a comfortable, but probably not sort of... goal happy Man United side, I should say. So I think 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 to Man United.
Yes, next up then, Mike, is another game on Sunday. A lot of Sunday matches this week, like it was last week, as it was before the midweek fixtures in the Premier League. And next up is a Tottenham side who got a victory last time out against Brentford. They take on a Norwich side who, under Dean Smith, has played some good football, yet to lose under Dean Smith, and yet to lose since they sacked Daniel Farke. They obviously won that game when they sacked Daniel Farke after that one, and they're yet to lose following on from them as well, with a good draw against Newcastle with that spectacular goal from Timu Pukki. Mike, for this one, I'm going for a Tottenham win by 2-0. Are you on the same page that Tottenham will get the win, or do you think Norwich will come out on top?
I'm going to take my Arsenal bias away, take my Arsenal hat off here, and I'm going to say that, as much as I don't like Tottenham and as much as I don't want Tottenham to end up overtaking us, I think, they will do, at least for the time being, because obviously we play on Monday, because I reckon they'll beat Norwich, so they'll obviously jump above us. They'll actually jump up to fourth, in fact, if the Chelsea result is the same as what I have said as well. I think Tottenham will win, and I can see them winning by a few as well. So I'm going to go. I think Harry Kane will grab a couple in this. I'm going to go 4-0 Spurs.
4-0 to Spurs for man. And next up, Mike, Steven Gerrard back at Villa Park after a defeat at Man City on Wednesday evening. They take on a Leicester City side buoyed by a draw at St Mary's in midweek, and Leicester picking up a little bit hit and miss in recent weeks. Leicester Villa picking up a little bit under Steven Gerrard as well. Obviously, first defeat under him of the weekend. They want to get rid of that and get back to winning ways as quickly as possible. I don't see it happening though for me. I won't say what score I've gone for just yet. Mike, Villa Leicester. Which way do you think he'll go?
See, that's a really interesting game. Of course, there's not much really between those two sides either. Leicester, of course, drew their last game. Obviously, they won the one before that. And as for Aston Villa, they were in good form until losing to Man City. Only narrowly as well, remember. Giving them a good game and good run for their money there. So I think there's a chance that Aston Villa will pick something up in this game. They do have threats in their side as well, of course, and so do Leicester too as well. Though Jamie Vardy started to fire a bit more. I'm gonna go just a narrow 2-1 victory for Leicester.
I'm also Mike. Great minds think alike. I'm also going 2-1 Leicester. I just think Leicester will just have enough quality to get the 3 points of the weekend. Next up, then, Mike.
That's an interesting one from a personal, not a personal level, but from a friendship level between two people that we know very, very well as well. It's a battle of the old relationship, isn't it, Russ? Remember?
Yes, Benice Johnson against Brad Hicks. Who will come out on top? I think it'll be Brad this time around, Mike. And Brad did a prediction with us a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, he had a few technical problems, so couldn't come on, but he gladly sent me his predictions across so I could put a video out for you all to watch.
Yeah, but, so I'm going to go the same as you, 2-1 as well, yeah.
Yeah, so both going 2-1 there for Leicester City. Next up then, Mike, is Everton against Arsenal. And Arsenal defeat to Manchester United on Thursday. Everton defeat to Liverpool on Wednesday. Both will be wanting to bounce back. It's a battle of the friendships again. Is you and Daniel Cashmore up against
Lee.
Up against Lee Monaghan, Limo, and Mike. I think you and Cash are going to have the last word. I'm going to be happy come 10 o'clock on Monday afternoon, on Monday evening when that finishes, as I think Arsenal will get back to winning ways. And we'll get back to winning ways convincingly. Okay. Everton 0, Arsenal 4 for me, Mike. How do you see this one going?
That's a very bold prediction. I don't ever remember Arsenal scoring 4 for some time. But Everton, as I mentioned before, in the other day stream, the game that we did between Manchester United and Arsenal, if anyone wants to watch that one back as well, the commentary that you did, are going to be missing the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Solomon Rondon as well. So there's certainly not as much, up front to worry about there from an Everton perspective. Yes, they still have Richarlison and he's a danger and things like that. But I think there's enough about us to bounce back. I'm not going to go as high as you. I'm going to go Everton 0, Arsenal 2.
Okay. So just before we do leave you then, guys, you've just heard what me and Mike have said. But what you can do in a second as well, guys, is see what me and Mike have said for each of those games. So what we'll do is look it up on the screen for you all to see. And Mike is up on the screen there for us to see as well on the screen in front of us there, Mike. I'll just zoom in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Now you zoom out. Okay, yeah. I've got you. Yeah.
So we'll just do mine there first, and then we'll go across to yours. So there's what I've gone for, guys, on the screen there. So a Chelsea win, a Burnley win, a Brighton win, a Liverpool win, City win, Leeds win, Man United win, Tottenham win, Villa defeat, should I say, Leicester win, should I say, and then Arsenal win. As for you, Mike, you've gone for Chelsea, Burnley, draw, Liverpool, City,
Yeah.
Leeds to win there as well, Man United, Tottenham, Leicester and Arsenal to win as well, just so people could see the games there. So that's what we've gone for, Mike. And be interested to see who comes out on top in the end, Mike, whether it'll be me or whether it'll be you, because we've done this twice before, guys, me against Mike, and I'll just run through how we got on that time. So first off, between me and Mike, when we first did it, Mike beat me by 6 points to 5.
Very close and narrow, yeah.
When Mike took on against me, I beat him by 8 points to 7.
See, again, very, very narrow, not much in it.
And this time, who will win and what will the score be? We'll find out on next week's predictions when I'll have another guest on predicting match week number 16. But Mike, thank you very much for coming on, my friend.
No, not to worry, Russ. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully it'll be third time lucky on my part and not yours.
So thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening to our Premier League predictions for match week number 15 from all of the team here at the Commentary Hub, JB Sports, JDA Football, Storm FM, and on the Commentary Hub Twitter and the Twitch channel as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back next week with more predictions against another guest. Who will I be up against next week? Please come and find out. More of the team here.